All right. Hey, what is up, YouTube and Twitch? Because Facebook sucks ass. What's up, Internet? I'm here with Marionette, who does a project called Wandering Whispers that I just had to
Hello.
talk about. How goes it tonight? Good?
It's been a lot for the last couple of weeks, but other than that, I'm doing okay.
I feel that on a spiritual level. Oh, geez. What the hell is
Well,
my kid wanting?
I'm nothing if not spiritual. Ask me about how the dance floor is holy ground at some point, and I'll talk your ear off.
Oh,
Uh,
absolutely. If I learned nothing at Dark Force Fest last weekend, it's that.
oh, I get to. Oh God, I'm seeing Normoria next
Oh, hell
Tuesday
yeah.
with Broken Nails and Access to Concrete, and it's gonna be that kind of experience.
Hell yeah.
Then I'm hoping to see Pixel Grip in October, and same thing. Like, if there is
Mhm.
any band that understands the dance floor as like holy ground, it's Pixel Grip. Like, you should
Yeah.
see them.
So, how did you come up with the name of your project, Wandering Whispers?
I just kind of named it after a sound that I had started to develop in my early work.
Hmm.
When I was putting out singles, when I put out my cover of Joy Drops Beautiful. Um, it was it was just kind of the vibe of it.
Hmm. Okay. And so, how would
Um,
you describe the sound that you do with Wandering Whispers? I'm like, I don't know, it was almost like ambient industrial, kind of. I'm like, I don't know what to call it.
I wanted to find a more industrial fusion of industrial and dark wave as it
Hmm.
existed in the 90s. But like utilizing that 80s industrial or even EBM type beat structure, which is to say there's not really much structure. It
Right.
like you just kind of take a bunch of patterns and put them together until you find something that sounds hot.
Yeah. So, how'd you first get into making music?
I have adored um, music and especially experimental music
Hmm.
since I was a teenager. I took a strange path, but I grew up with like a lot of that old country music,
Hmm.
um, and then like kind of branched out through all the different kinds of rock and roll and metal, and finally settled into punk and experimentalism around the time I was 15 or 16. Um, like, but like so it's a long history, but like I've had phases of listening to everything from like alt rock to prog rock to like music concrete and jazz and blues, and
Hmm.
I just kind of put all of that, especially the stuff that really talks to me, um, just into a blender,
Hmm.
um, and seeing what sparks an emotion.
Yeah. What's the first like industrial music you ever remember hearing?
Oh God, that's a question. Oh, um, a lot of people are gonna hate this. A lot of people are gonna be like, "Yay!" It's probably Nine Inch Nails,
Oh, hell
honestly.
yeah.
But you couldn't not you couldn't live in the United States in the 90s and not hear Nine Inch Nails. Like,
That is very true.
um, after that, though, when I started getting like into the actual uh, goth and industrial and fetish scene, was when I started getting down into like the core shit.
Hmm.
Um, like that that beating heart, that throbbing gristle, if you will.
Yeah.
And the philosophy of industrial music. Um, so that was before the Downward Spiral even came out, though. Like, I heard Pretty Hate Machine and it changed my life. Um, but yeah, that's like if you pay attention and
Hmm.
really try to parse the artistic philosophies of like Genesis Peorage and Eistersund Neubauten and like Coil, um, you get a really wild picture starts emerging of
Hmm.
what it means to do art and what it means to make music
Hmm.
from things that are definitely not music, and how that really does speak to um, everything about our society
Hmm.
on a root level that I think a lot of people are afraid of. Even a lot of people, even a lot of people who are adjacent to the scene, um,
Hmm.
don't or who like to come out to dance or something. You know, s- like getting that deep into the philosophy of it scares a lot of people
Hmm.
because it requires that you invest yourself in understanding the art on a level that is existentially terrifying.
Yeah.
Um, anyway, that's a whole other conversation, and it would probably take far too long for me to actually explain all of the little details behind what I mean there.
Okay.
But it's explicitly queer in a way that is like right on its face.
Oh, absolutely. So you put out an album back in February, right? Called Only Flesh.
Yes.
So, one question I like to ask is, did your release date of February 24th have some sort of significance to you, or is it just convenient?
It was supposed to be February 10th.
Okay.
Uh, but like some things happened, some remixes didn't come through. That happens. It's part of the business.
Yeah, that
And
makes sense.
so like it gave me an extra couple of weeks to really tack on some polish and try to get um try to get it all to my mastering producer, Tesla Coil,
Mhm.
and
So if you could,
let her work her magic on it.
oh, hi, we have a friend apparently.
Aw.
So if you could sum up the message behind this album, like just sum it up shortly, what would you say?
Well, the album, all of my work is operating on two levels.
Hmm.
It's the story of the album, which is basically just like vibing lesbian vampire erotica.
Hmm.
Um, and the the poetic telling of the emotions of journeys of transformation that happen in these moments, um, or in these kinds of moments.
Hmm.
Um, and like the message is let it in. Like whatever's happening, whatever you're feeling,
Hmm.
you won't, it will never reward you if you don't let it in. You will never, no one can fully be happy in um, living like a fake life. So
Absolutely.
you might as well be real with it. You might as well tell the truth. Um, that's as much as like this was an album about the future, and just as my last album was about the past, and my last EP was about, or was at least partly about the transitional period between the past and the future, though not necessarily the now, but like the moments where we find the strength to change.
Hmm. Let's see. Oh, I meant to do that. One moment. There it is. All right, so come on, computer. There we go. So let's talk about the cover art. What's going on there,
Mhm.
and why did you decide to make it that red color?
That's the color the light in my room was.
Oh, that makes sense.
That that's that's a boudoir picture that I took of myself in the first year of my transition when I was struggling with a lot of things.
That's cool.
Um, and well, in the first year after I started estrogen anyway.
Hmm.
Um, but I loved the framing up of it and the um the vibe of it. So I intensified the reds
Hmm.
to really bring that out. And stocked it away um for something. I didn't know what. I just knew I liked it enough to use it for something.
Yeah.
And when I decided to call this album Only Flesh, and decided to not just use the double W for the logo, or for the cover, I immediately like thought of that picture and the way that it frames the tattoo, especially.
Hmm.
That's actually a back tattoo that I have. Um, the tattoo is a gravestone, um, and it symbolized a lot of trans things um, when I was 18. Um, but now it's the meaning has changed, and
Hmm.
so in a way. But when when I decided to call this album Only Flesh, because of the track I was working on and how it was coming together,
Hmm.
um, I realized that the core theme of the album was change and transformation, and I the idea of that picture and the way it looks like somebody stepping, like somebody, the that image of me makes me think of empowerment.
Hmm.
So, and if anything, the best change is always empowerment. And in a way, that's really where like that's where it tied in to the theme of the album was like
Hmm.
this idea of empowerment through exposing the flesh, through changing the flesh,
That makes sense.
because it's only flesh. Your spirit is the same. Your spirit is what it's always been.
Hmm. All right. This next question I have is kind of off the wall. If you were ice cream, what flavor would you be?
Pumpkin.
Pumpkin?
Hmm. Like that pumpkin with like the pumpkin pie spice flavoring in it and everything.
Ooh, that sounds good.
Like, oh yeah. Like maybe throw in a little graham cracker swirl.
Ooh, yeah, there we go.
Mm.
Let's see. What socials are you on? Where can people follow you?
Mostly I'm on Blue Sky. That's at marionette.bzsky.social or dot team. bzsky.team.
Okay. Was there anything else on here you wanted to talk about that we haven't touched on?
I mean, I could go in depth or anything. I don't know how long you want this to be. Um,
I'm down for anything.
let's see. What else have I been up to? Where have I've been taking a lot of inspiration um from like ideas presented in media.
Hmm.
But I gotta go back to like some I think with this next album that I'm working on right now, um I'm going to go back to like more of the basics of like industrial and EBM
Hmm.
and try to do something a little more upbeat and dance floor friendly.
Oh yeah.
But I don't want to let go of my complicated beats because this is industrial and that's not happening. Um, but like I want to bring that old school um attitude back where Skinny Puppy mentioned it in their retirement interview when they
Hmm.
decided to break up. The do anything with anything approach of classic industrial, the things that Genesis used to talk about, as they put it,
Hmm.
have gone by the wayside for a bunch of a bunch of techno tropes, basically. And like there were people I've met people trying to separate EBM from industrial by BPM, and it's ridiculous.
Hmm.
Um, and but like that's I want to bring back like it's about a level of experimentalism while still being danceable. It's about a vibe, and it's like I want to create I want to carve out a niche in the scene that says that you don't have to you don't have to like buy a trope and do a specific sound to get somewhere,
Hmm.
to have your music heard. And I'm not talking about getting big. Nobody gets
Right.
big. Nobody ever gets big. That's not the point. It's about getting heard. It's about having your voice out there and having people who are touched by it,
Absolutely.
who are affected by it. And and we need to bring back the attitude that this is not for people who are looking to get rich. This is not for people who are looking to become globetrotting superstars. It's for the people. It's by the people. It is the people's music. Sorry, I
That's okay.
I
It was like,
I
I
get
wasn't sure if you were done or not, so I was waiting to say.
what's that?
I wasn't sure if you're done talking or not, so I'm like, all right, give it a sec.
Sorry.
It's okay.
I tend to do that. It's the autism. Uh,
Yeah, same. So I understand. I'm like, are you done? I don't want to cut you off.
I'm sorry for cutting you off in the middle there. That was
No, you're fine.
what were you saying there?
I have no idea. What was I saying? I have no idea. There are
Like
spicy
I
strike
could
again.
just I could just sit here and give blue sky hot takes. Like the only other true people's music is thrash metal. Like
Oh, explain that.
it is very much exactly itself, no matter what. You know thrash when you hear it
Mhm.
because it is something that is explicitly by design loud, amateur, and fast
Yeah.
and cheap. Like the the more pawn shop your guitar is in a thrash band, the better.
Yeah.
Like like it is very much, and it can't outgrow itself because those things are worked into the DNA of it. So like there's no way to like really upscale it. There's very
Mhm.
little way to even colonize it. It's very much like just the metal of the working man.
Yeah. That makes sense.
Like, the only thing it takes less skill to play than thrash is I'm kidding. Thrash is a very technical genre. That's part of what's attractive about it.
It is honestly my least favorite subgenre of metal. I love all metal, but thrash, I just can't. I just can't.
I love that shit. Like part of the time or part of my growing up was on was like very much on like Megadeth and Metallica, and
Mhm.
I hate Slayer. Don't get me started.
Oh Jesus
The
Christ! I also
society
fucking hate
has moved
Slayer.
beyond the need for Slayer.
I hate Slayer.
But like getting into the underground bands like 3 Inches of Blood, bands like um bands like the Dayglow Abortions, uh actual band. Check out their song Arg Fuck Kill.
I will have to check that out.
Um, you know, just like there's something so I don't have a word for it,
Mhm.
but like there's something very unique about the genre that it actually something that it holds in common with hardcore punk though.
Yeah.
Like it is just so very specifically itself that like anybody can get into doing it
Mhm.
as long as you can get like a couple of things.
Right. The last thing I had is just what message do you have for anybody who watches this?
Live out loud, burn so bright that you scar their fucking eyes and never
I
let the
can.
bastards grind you down.
Oh yeah, I could not fucking agree more. All right. Well, thank you so much for hopping on. This was definitely fun. If you want to hang out
Yeah,
off the air after the credits roll, you're totally welcome to chill.
hell yeah, I love to.
All right. Awesome. The credits are like almost 2 minutes, so stay tuned. Bye, internet. Till next time.